Om Shanti. Baba is always emphasizing that we have to be detached as well as loving. In this world, most of the people have some or other attachment. And the first and foremost is our attachment to our body. So if we understand what is attachment, which naturally it's easy to understand what is detachment. Attachment to body, when we attach to body, we are worried about its well-being. Also, we are worried about how we look, how much we are weighing. So, naturally, especially now we are so much aware of the health, what is good diet and what is not good diet. We are worried if we don't have balanced diet, or especially when you come to India, you'll say, oh, everything starchy food, start, no greens. So, no greens, not fruits so much available. You have to go all the way somewhere to get the fruits, or not facility to grow sprouts and all sorts of things. So, main thing what we have to see that we have aim to have balanced diet. And 15 days, if you don't eat greens, I don't think you will die. Or you will become sick. But what happens is, if I am worried about something, naturally, the psychological effect is we'll feel sick and weak, and we feel, oh, I'm missing this food and I'm missing that food, or I don't like this food, and so we had to, means when we are at home, naturally we have to be, because it's all the time, we are having to pay attention as what we eat, whether we are eating balanced diet, and depending on our health. Now, if diabetic patient is there, naturally they have to be careful about not to eat so much starch, or eat more of protein food and all. So naturally we have to be careful. So we have to be loving to our body and caring about our body, and see that we are eating right type of food. We are doing some exercise. We are taking enough rest. 6 hours rest is enough for Brahmins because we are meditating. So we are not under stress, because those who are under stress, they are really tired and exhausted, and they need rest. But sometimes with body consciousness leading to attachment, you think, oh, I'm so much used to have 8 hours sleep, and doctors advise I must have 8 hours sleep. So if I don't sleep 8 hours, I'll be not focused tomorrow. I won't be able to concentrate on my job, and my mind will not function properly and all. So we sometimes judge ourselves with a Lokic standard. But now we have to see that we see everything in a alaukic way. That being in a soul conscious all the time and not taking any stress or tension or worry, we don't need to rest so much as Laukic people will advise or think about. So we have to remember mind over matter, not worried about matter so much. So when there is attachment, we think, okay, my body. But when we are detached, we will have this awareness that this is the instrument Baba has given me to perform divine service. So having that love and care, that we have balanced diet, at least 6 hours sleep, and not just eat apple and carrot in the breakfast and sandwiches in the lunch and dinner, or just eat one type of food, because even if you are eating all the time vegetables and raw vegetables and wheatgrass juice and everything, you may fall sick. Because if it is not balanced, if you are not taking any carbohydrate, protein, then naturally you will be emaciated. You will be no muscles or no fat, nothing, and you will fall sick. And so we need to have enough carbohydrate, proteins, minerals, vitamins, everything. Not go to one extreme or another extreme. Especially regularly, for a few days, it's all right. You do fasting once a week, or that's good. But not fasting all the time on vegetables and fruits and juice and all. So we have to be detached from our body and yet loving and caring about our body. Second attachment is to our bodily relations or divine relationship, because what as Mohini Ben was saying in yesterday's Murli, attachment is such, you break attachment with one person and get attached to somebody else. So we may break attachment to Laukic and get attached to alaukic Brahmins, teachers or friends, and those who we can relate more, and those who have time to listen to us. Or it's a dependency. Attachment is either possessiveness or dependency. So we do take support of the body, but we have to see that we are not dependent on body and thinking all the time about the body and sickness and health and diet and everything all the time. So being sensible, loving and caring, but not attached. Now, attachment to human beings, whether Brahman or Laukics, because we have been dependent on human relationship, their love, their sympathy, their care, their help, etc. And on one hand, we had to take their help, love them, cooperate with them, receive cooperation. But we had to see that we are not dependent on them, because when we are dependent on someone, without them, we feel helpless and hopeless. Say, oh, what am I going to do without this person? So especially when they are sick or when they are dying or when they are dead, then we become desperate and feel completely devastated. And that's where we had to see that, yes, we had to love them, care for them, receive love and care and cooperation from them, but not to depend on one individual. Cooperation with everyone is good. And especially we find parents become attached to children. Children become attached to parents. Partner become attached to each other. So it's in relationship, it's a dependency or interdependency, whatever it may be, that we are really relying on them. So it's a narrow margin between love and attachment. Because when there is soul consciousness, unlimited attitude, there is love. When there is element of body consciousness and limited attitude, it's my responsibility, my children, my family, because that's where we become attached and feel that what will happen to my children without me, and we may have that attachment to our role, responsibility as a parents. So responsibility is good thing, but making them independent right from childhood is good. Because if mother is doing everything for children and not letting them to help themselves, then what will happen is child will be dependent. And especially in the Western world, sometimes they take undue advantage of mother who is kind and helpful. The children will have their own flat or own accommodation. On weekend, they will dump their dirty washings to mother and say, "Mom, can you do this washing for me?" And poor mom, if she is attached, then she says, "Okay, I'll do it." So she may do washing, ironing, whatever it may be. Or some others, even if the sons are far away, especially when they are settling in a new home, mothers will go and see that the house is done, everything properly, kitchen is set properly, everything is set properly, and now and again go and do their cooking and cleaning and seeing that everything is okay. So as I said, there is a narrow margin between caring and making them dependent. So caring is good, and you have to care about them and bring them and see how they are and how they are going, but not bring every day. Because somebody was saying in a center, and the parents will ring every day or expect the girl to ring every day to say, "Okay, how am I?" So, because ringing once a week or once in a fortnight is good, and that's what many of the Western Brahmins know. As they are totally non-communicative. They go abroad on a tour and they never communicate with the parents. Parents don't know where the children are or don't know how they are. So on one hand, we have to be communicative, and that's what many parents of the Brahmins feel now, that okay, children are now communicating and have good relationship. So neither we should have hatred nor attachment. Because sometimes some people who have bad childhood, they really hate the parents and not communicate at all. They say, I don't care. So it should neither be that extreme that you never ring your lockics or not care for them. It should be neither the other way, that you have to ring every day and worry about them every day. So whether it's lockic or alokik also, because sometimes it becomes attachment to alokik, especially teachers and student relationship, because the teacher thinks it's my student, and student will getting so much love and care and attention that the students become attached to teacher. And that's where we had to see that never have this awareness mind. Baba has so much emphasized. When you say, I remember I the soul. When you remember mine is one Baba. So that's where once we have this awareness and we change our drishti towards relations, we should be looking at them as Baba's children and care for them as Baba's children, not my children. So I'm just a trustee. So whatever we are responsible for, whether it's a center, whether it's a students, whether it's a family members, rather than think it's my responsibility, have always awareness, Baba is responsible. I am just instrument or trustee. So with this awareness that I am just a trustee, you'll find that you will remain light and carefree. So Baba always says, be careful but carefree, not worried. Not to be careless or detached to that extent is not that, oh, they belong to Baba, Baba will look after that. No. They do belong to Baba, but Baba will not come and serve the sick patient, or Baba will not cook for anybody. So we had to see that we are, for ourselves also, have this balance, cooking at least one proper balanced meal, and for family members also doing that job. But at the same time, in a Lokik family or even a Lokik family, it's nice to divide the responsibility, different responsibility to different individual rather than one person doing all karma yoga. So with that aim and attention that everybody does give hand in household duties, then the mother will have less burden. Otherwise, sometimes in the Western world, mother has to do job, come home, do cooking, cleaning, washing, washing clothes, putting them on line, bringing them from line. So if mother is doing everything for everybody, then naturally children will be careless, not extending their hand. in any of the household duties. So that's where from childhood we have to train children to keep everything neat and tidy in the right place and help themselves. Then there can be attachment to our views. My view. I think this is the right thing. I think this should be done in this way only. And when there is that sort of attachment, then naturally, with attachment there is always sorrow. If it is not done in my way, or my views are not respected, then I feel insulted or rejected, and I become angry and upset, etc. about it. And so, even if I have to think independently, individually, if my link is with Baba, then it will not be only my views, it will be Baba's views. And if it is Baba's views, you'll find everybody will agree and there won't be any conflict. There won't be any conflict and tension between different individuals. And that's where Baba says you have to be having a balance of child and master. As a master, we express our views. And as a child, we agree with majority and help them. Otherwise, we say, okay, if my views is not given respect, I'm out. I'm not going to help in that task. You can do whatever you like. And that's how we become then uncooperative. So that's where we have to see that we do express our view, we do have our own views, but it should tally with Baba's views. Then it can be my role, attachment to my role, position, because sometimes we get attached to our position and role, and naturally, if somebody else interferes in that, then we say, okay, don't interfere in my role and my responsibility. It's my role. Why do you interfere in my responsibility, role, etc.? So that's where we had to see, because most of the time we had been in Lokik life role conscious. As soon as somebody is given some task, or if they are involved in some service or center or something, they'll say, what will be my role? What am I supposed to do? So it's good to share responsibility, but when it comes to my role, my responsibility, my position, then if we are brought down from higher position to ordinary position, then we suffer a lot. And that's where we have to see that we are not attached to position, responsibility, role, and we are able to do all sorts of a role all round. Because sometimes somebody says, okay, I'm center in charge. Okay, I'm not supposed to do any karma yoga. Everybody else has to do karma yoga. And that's not right, no? Because whoever is there, whatever job is to be done, if it is Baba's service, we should be able to do whatever is to be done. So that way, we should not be having attachment, or sometimes we develop ego. Okay, I am in charge. So I should decide what is to be done. And then we don't listen to others' opinion. And then there can be tension. So we have to see if there is any worry, tension, anxiety, jealousy, because one vice will lead to another vice. No? If one is attached, and naturally they may have an ego of their position, or if they have that comparison, and if they find they are not competent, then they may have frustration and hopelessness and all sorts of negative feeling may emerge. And so as soon as there are negative thoughts, negative feelings, we have to introspect ourselves and see what's wrong with me, not what's wrong with somebody else. That we are so much used to see, this is wrong with you, this is what you should not be doing. But what am I supposed to do? I have to see how I had to reform the situation, I had to see, and not how others have spoiled the situation. So just as Baba reforms the situation, my aim should be to reform the situation. Then there can be attachment to my possessions. So, because I remember in the early days, no, they will never say my center. They'll say Baba's center, Baba's car, Baba's kitchen, everything Baba, Baba, Baba. And that's where we have to see, not only we say it, everything belongs to Baba, but we should have a real feeling about it and not get sorrow if my possession is bit damaged or bit spoiled. So that's where we have to see that whatever possession I have, naturally I have to take care of that, but not worry about it. Or not thinking, oh, it's mine, nobody should touch. So it's Baba's, everybody can use it. We can help everybody with Baba's things. So on one hand, everything belongs to Baba, but yet we have to be careful before we use it. Suppose in a Baba's house, if we are using phone, we have to at least inform instruments that, okay, can I use phone? So we should have those sort of manners, politeness to use some of the Baba's things. But at the same time, those who are caretakers instrument, they should not feel, okay, I am the only one who should touch everything. Then sometimes we have attachment to our space. My room, my space. Nobody should come in my space. I want to be by myself. I can't tolerate somebody else around me. So that's where we have to see that attachment to my space, my room, my area, my student, that should not be there. Everybody is Baba's students. Students can go this center, that center. Students can communicate with seniors without me coming in between. So that sort of a freedom, we should give it to everybody, and not restrict my space to myself. So that's where we have to see that we need to be generous-hearted. Because when we are attached naturally, we become sometimes selfish, that okay, only I can look after this, or I should be responsible. So if there is generosity, just as Baba used to feel, everything belongs to you, all children. In the same manner, we should have everything belongs to Baba's children. And that way, we are able to share everything with everybody. Especially Brahmins, we should be able to share. So when there is this trustee consciousness that everything belongs to Baba and I am just trustee, then whether it's my body, my people around me, whether it's center, students, money, possessions, everything belongs to Baba. And naturally, as a trustee, I take care of those things, but respect Baba's views, because trustee has to follow the conditions that the original donors or trust has laid down, that okay, this money is to be used in this way and distributed this way. At that age, child will get the property or money, etc. So trustees have to follow the views and the ideas of those who have trusted the thing. In the same manner, if I have this awareness that I am a trustee, then I do look after everything, but if there is profit, I am not over intoxicated. If there is loss, I am not frustrated and feeling depressed. So that will not be the fluctuation of the moods, so much up and down. With trustee awareness, there won't be worry. Because if the trust money has been distributed to whoever it is to be distributed, the trustees don't feel that, oh, now our bank account is empty. No. They say, okay, whatever is to be used in whichever way we have used, so it doesn't matter if there is nothing in the bank account. So that way, with that trustee consciousness, the soul will feel light. Having this awareness, everything belongs to Baba. So Baba is like an owner. We are trustees following the guidance of owner, Baba. So we follow Baba's direction, guidance, and we leave everything up to Baba. So then we are careful but carefree. And I know the best example of trustee consciousness was Brijmohan Bhai's father. We used to call him Chacha. And he had invited Dadi Janki to stay at his home, and he was running Gita Pathshala in his house. So what he used to do is, whatever money he used to earn, he used to give it to Dadi. And every morning he will ask Dadi to give him bus fare. So it was no money of his own. So when he used to eat, Dadi used to say, "Have you offered to Baba?" And he said, "But Baba is feeding me, why I have to offer it to Baba?" So that feeling that Baba is looking after me, Baba is feeding, though he was earning money and giving it to Yagya or Dadi, he used to have this awareness, I'm doing everything for Baba, I'm just instrument. Okay, Baba is looking after me, feeding me, etc. So these days we can't do that. We haven't done. I don't think anybody does it. But at least if I'm using Baba's money, I have to be careful as how Baba will feel about it. Will Baba be happy? So I should have such connection with Baba, or check with Baba, or follow the example of Brahma Baba. Because just as Brahma Baba, whatever property he had, he trusted it to 11 sisters. So he wasn't even trustee. He gave up. He was like a complete renunciator, totally surrendered. He surrendered everything to Baba, so that even he wasn't trustee of it. So these days it's very rare, people surrendering or just acting as trustees. So, but at least whenever I want to do whatever I'm doing it, I should check with Baba or senior instruments who are around whether it's okay to go ahead and do this. Because even though couples like Ramesh Bhai, Usha Ben, they stay in their home. I remember even to go and attend marriage ceremony, they will ask Baba, should I go for this marriage ceremony, and how I should handle all different situations. So those who are staying in the household, not only that they have to be acting as a trustee of whatever their possession, property, children, etc., but they have to, even those who are in center, more we have this awareness that it belongs to Baba, everything belongs to Baba, then naturally we are not holding on to anything. And also we are more economical. So just as Baba was economical as well as generous, in the same manner, on one hand we will be economical and see whatever is needed, we spend on only that. But at the same time we can be generous and sharing everything of Baba's possessions or Baba's property and Baba's time, money, energy, everything in a unlimited way for everyone. So that way, trusteeship will help us to perform our duties, responsibilities, but at the same time, we are not attached to any of those things. So on one hand, we remain busy and do whatever we are supposed to do. But at the same time, we are not holding on to anything or everything, this is mine. It should be in my way. So there is no mind. Awareness or feeling of mind is not there. And we are doing everything for Baba. So that, my Baba, then we will never feel lonely or heavy. Because sometimes if we don't have Baba with us, we may feel lonely. Or sometimes when we don't have feeling that he is Karavanhar, we feel heavy and responsible that, oh, I have to do it, I must do it. It must be done in this way. And if it is not done, we become tense and uptight. So that's where we have to be careful, carefree, and watching ourselves, because we are now being yogi, we are more introvert and watching ourselves as an observer. If we are watching, we will see what we are doing, what we are thinking, what we are having awareness, etc. So it won't be just theory in our mind and we know that yes, it should be like that or it should not be like that. But at the same time, we are paying attention to everything, with consciousness, attitude, our relationship, how we are looking at them in a alaukic way rather than in a laukic way. So everything laukic, we convert it into alaukic. So whether it is laukic relationship, laukic responsibility, duty, but we do it with alaukic attitude that it is all Baba's children, Baba's home. So we don't neglect anything. At the same time, we don't worry about anything. It will happen. It will happen, and in Baba's remembrance, if we are doing, everything will be best. Otherwise, we have many waste thoughts. So we have to be careful not to allow any waste or worry. Om Shanti. So let us have now meditation. Dadi will join us anytime and she will share some invaluable jewels. Om Shanti.